Project 1. Okay, Project 1 in Unity is going to be dealing with the workflow between Unity and Maya. To get started, go to Unity and start a new project. You can put this project anywhere you would like. I'm going to set it within my users shared, and I made a folder called Unity so I can keep track of all this stuff. And this is going to be called Project 1. Okay, I'm going to use the standard assets Unity package. And there we go. To get started with a new layout, I'm going to use the 2x3 layout. And I'm just going to create a new little world. Basically, something I can have a player stand on. So to do that, if I can get the Unity thing to pop up at the top here, it wants to use ScreenFlow. And it likes Maya, but does it like Unity? There we go. Sweet. All right, so what I'm going to do is just create another game object like a cube. And this is just a simple cube that I'm going to take and kind of stretch out. And this is going to be where the player stands. And what we're going to do today is export a mini textured object out of Maya into Unity and show you the best way to do that. All right, to start out with, let's get a player in here so I can have some kind of frame of reference. And if you use the standard assets, you can go to prefab and go to first player controller, click and drag him out, and there he is. You can use this to toggle around. And what I want to do is put this above the ground plane. Incidentally, you can also use Alt, left mouse button to pan, Alt and Shift. And if you're in this view right here, Alt will allow you to rotate. And Alt and middle mouse button will allow you to pan in this view. To zoom, use the middle mouse button and kind of scroll in and out. Okay. All right, now I'm going to just kind of tuck him away back here. And the idea behind this is to import a cube about the same size as the actual player near the amount without messing Maya up too much. And let me show you what that means. Right now, this is the default scene within Maya. Now, if I use any other setup here, it gets kind of laborious to go back and forth and set the scale of Unity to the scale of Maya. So I would say, to really know Unity and Maya and the workflow between the two, we can just do some math, okay? So what I'm going to do is make it a little box, and then I'm going to click and drag it up, okay? And I'm going to get it roughly the size of this actual little grid here. And if I export that using FBX, like export selection, and I'll export that over into my Unity, over in Project 1, Assets, Standard Assets, and I'm going to make a new directory in here called Objects. And I'm going to use the FBX. Please note that you should update your FBX. You can do that at Autodesk. It's free. You type in Google Autodesk FBX, and you should pop that right up. We're going to call this cube 1. And if I export that out using the standard scale of 1 in centimeters, which is defaulted here, and then I import it into Unity, here is my objects, here's Unity, here's my box. You're going to find the box is really super small. Okay. Now, I don't want to do much with the whole thing back in Maya. You know what I mean? I want to kind of leave it the way it is. I like this. It would be nice to like understand what scale is, but I can always go back to Unity and scale this up and make it into a prefab if needed. Okay, and that's what I like doing, is just not necessarily worry about scale back and forth, but when I do get an object down pat, then I can make a new prefab out of that object, and that way it'll always stay true. So there's my new prefab, and if I wanted a prefab of this little cube, I can just click and drag it over here. I can get rid of it over here, and now it's always over here, and I can keep clicking and dragging instance of that prefab out, and that's what a prefab is. It's a contained instance of one object. All right, so scale is irrelevant. What I'm more worried about is figuring out the whole texture thing and showing it to you. So in the next video, what I want to do is apply a simple texture to this cube and show you how to clean up the scene and then import it into Unity.